Hello there and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be telling you about my favourite foundations. So these are the foundations that I'm constantly reaching for, the foundations that I put on and I trust that they're going to stay in place, look good after many hours of wear. Most importantly, the foundations that I am repurchasing. I'm a makeup junkie, so I love to kind of test out new makeup. However, I know that if I'm actually repurchasing the same item, I really love it because I like to just try new things all the time. So today I'm going to be telling you about my top 8 foundations. May seem like a completely arbitrary number, which it is. Just before I get into the video, I do have oily skin. I'm 34, so I do have fine lines, lots of pores. I also do break out occasionally. There's kind of lots that I like to cover up on my face. I always like to go for a foundation that is medium coverage, blah 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 and blah blah blah. I'm just gonna get started. I mean, really guys, first foundation that I really love is by LA Girl, and this is the Pro Coverage High Definition Long Wear Illuminating Foundation. I have this in the shade Fair. It's definitely very warm toned. We'll definitely be repurchasing a lighter shade next time I come to repurchase. Fair, although you might think it would be fairly light, it's not fairly light, it's fairly orange. I love this foundation because it's extremely dewy. It gives your skin a beautiful kind of glowy look. It's actually what I'm wearing today. It's a good medium coverage. I do believe that you could probably build this up to being a high coverage if you applied enough of it, but for me, I'm happy with the medium coverage. It feels really comfortable on the skin, and for the fact that it is an illuminating kind of dewy foundation, I find that it actually copes really well with my oily skin. I feel like the formula holds up really well with my oily skin, so I definitely would not be kind of put off this foundation if you have oily skin and maybe like in the past you've not really had a good experience with like dewier foundations. Cost about £10. You can get it from beautybay.com if you're in the UK, and yeah, it's just one of my favorites, so yayo. Okay, so next we have probably the highest coverage foundation of the bunch, and this is the Maybelline Superstay 24-hour foundation. I have like mixed feelings about this foundation because for me this isn't a foundation that I would put on and like wear for a day at the office, because unfortunately it does tend to look a little bit cakey on my skin in real life. However, I love this foundation for filming, or like if I'm going to be taking like selfies. I always feel like super like self-obsessed whenever I say that, but because like I love makeup, I take selfies. Like I am a selfie. So because this is high coverage, I just feel like it looks super kind of flattering, just really kind of flawless on camera. But yeah, as I mentioned earlier, in person it can look cakey. So I do feel like this lasts really well on my skin. It's pretty affordable, like it's under £10. It is a matte finish. It copes really well with my oily skin. I'm not quite sure how it would suit someone with like a drier skin type, and I have a feeling that it could potentially look a little bit kind of dry and cakey. So for me, like with this foundation, I don't wear it for like being out and about. It is purely like a filming foundation. I know that a lot of other people do love this foundation, and I feel like it's really important just to say that foundations, like with all of the makeup, is very subjective. So like I have oily skin, you may have oily skin, and we may like love and hate the same foundation, if that makes sense. Like I'm not kind of saying these foundations will definitely work for you because they work for me. I'm just saying like these are the ones that I really like, and I just want to throw a little like party for them with balloons, champagne release, strippers, you know, all the good stuff. Oh my gosh, I've got lipstick all over my teeth. I'm wearing a Liquid Suede by NYX today, and as always I got it all over my fucking teeth. Okay, so next we have what I would probably call my favourite foundation. This is the Beautifully Matte by No7. This foundation, as you would expect from the name, does give you a matte finish. It's a really good medium coverage, almost kind of bordering on high coverage. If you want a high coverage, you could easily achieve it with this foundation. This foundation looks great after hours of wear. It feels super comfortable on your skin. I could come home from work after having it on for like 8 hours and not feel in any immediate rush to kind of wash it off, because it barely feels like it's there on your face. It holds up supremely against my oily skin. So if you're an oily skin kind of girl or guy, I would highly recommend this foundation. It costs £15, which I think for such a beautiful foundation, it's a really good price. I have always struggled finding my perfect shade. Like, I've had about 4 or 5 different bottles of this, and each time I've tried a different shade. I think I started with like warm ivory, and this one is cool ivory. So I've gone through like warm vanilla, cool vanilla, calico, which is the lightest shade, and I mean I still don't feel like I found my perfect shade, which is such a shame when they have like such a good shade range, but I cannot find my perfect shade. That's the only negative with this foundation. You can of course go to the No7 counter if you're in the UK and in Boots, and they will kind of shade match you. They even have like a gadget that they use, but the gadget is bullshit because it's never got my shade right once. I don't know why I can't find my correct shade. Definitely not cool ivory. This one is very neutral, and like I had it on yesterday and it kind of looked like my head was not really attached to my neck. I think the closest that I've come to maybe finding my correct shade has been calico, so maybe I'll just stick with calico in future. Aside from my issues with finding my correct shade, I just think the formula of this foundation is beautiful. It does actually describe itself as velvet matte, which I kind of agree with, but ultimately it falls into the category of matte. So anyway, this is a brilliant foundation. If you've got more mature skin, if you've got oily skin, it would be really one to consider purchasing. Okay, so next we have probably the most affordable foundation out of the bunch, and this is by Essence. It's the Fresh and Fit Awake Makeup. This really reminded me of the Bourjois Healthy Mix Serum Foundation. It's very kind of radiant and glowy. It just makes your skin look really, really beautiful. It is a lighter coverage. Like, you could kind of build it up to being a medium, but if you're someone that likes a high amount of coverage, this probably would not be the one to go for. However, if you like a lighter coverage and you really are into like the radiant, dewy, glowy, healthy skin kind of look, I strongly recommend this one. It seems to last really, really well. It's super comfortable. I have this one in the shade Fresh Ivory. They don't have a huge shade range, which is a massive problem, and it's such a shame, but I think the foundation is really, really good if you can find a shade that suits you. Okay, so next we have something that actually doesn't call itself a foundation. It claims to be a BB cream, but to all intents and purposes, for me, it's a foundation. So this is the Garnier Skin Active BB Cream, and this is the one for combination to oily skin. They do have quite a few different like variations of this out now. They've got one for aging skin, they've got one for blemish prone skin, they've also got one for, I think it's like normal to dry skin, which is in like a smaller but wider tube. I have tried that one and I didn't like it at all. It was definitely very kind of oily feeling, whereas this one for combination to oily skin is perfection. When I was pregnant with Andreas, I literally wore nothing but this all the way throughout the summer, because it's kind of light enough that you can't really feel it on your skin, but it gives you enough coverage to where you don't feel barefaced, like, if that makes sense. It just feels so good on your skin and it looks flawless throughout the day. I know that there have been a lot of mixed kind of reviews on this, but for me it's been nothing but exceptional. And I mean, I must have gone through maybe like 10, 11, 12, a million of these, you know, since I discovered it. So yeah, it's a great, I love it. Okay, so you know, earlier I said that the Essence was the most affordable of all of these foundations. I was wrong. I completely forgot about my little beauty glaze friend. So this is one that I got from Amazon. Beauty Glazed are also sold on AliExpress and I think eBay as well. But I picked this up from Amazon when it was first released, and this cost me 88p with like £1.50 shipping, although the price has increased somewhat over the past couple of weeks, and I think it's now currently something like £1.80 with like £1.50 shipping. So I think that you could get this like all in all for under £4. So this is the Matte Me foundation. It claims to be high coverage and poreless, two things that I do really agree with. This foundation is actually pretty similar to the Maybelline Super Stay, but I feel like it doesn't look as cakey, which is a massive bonus, obviously. Like when I bought this, I didn't really have high expectations that it was going to be that good, purely because the price was so low. But how wrong was I? Like, this has become one of my favourite everyday foundations if I want a bit more coverage. It gives you a bit more coverage, but it doesn't make your face look cakey. It copes so well with my oily skin. The only negative I have to say about this, and it is a rather huge negative, is that it only comes in, wait for it, 4 shades. I think in this day and age is unforgivable. I just hope that they've gained enough positive feedback from the release of this foundation to encourage them to get their fecking sassy little asses back in that lab and create more shades so that everyone can try it. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so next we have a foundation by CoverGirl. This is the Ready Set Gorgeous. This isn't actually available in stores in the UK, as all CoverGirl products aren't. I bought this from Amazon and it cost me around like £10. This is the third tube of this that I've bought. It's a beautiful, natural, medium coverage foundation. It lasts supremely throughout the day. I have this in the shade Classic Ivory, and the shade is absolutely like spot on perfect. I think out of all of the foundations I own, this shade suits me like the best. Definitely say if you're a fan of a no fuss, natural looking medium coverage foundation, this would be a really, really good one to go for. Okay, so I'm going to finish off with the most expensive foundation of the bunch, and this one is the Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation by Too Faced. I can say nothing but good things about it. Well, actually, I can say something negative. It oxidizes like a bad boy. I have this in the shade Vanilla. Usually vanilla seems to work for me in like foundation shades, but I definitely should have gone a shade or two even lighter, because this foundation oxidizes. So many people say it and it's so true. So if you're going to be buying this foundation, definitely get at least one shade fairer than you think you might need. However, that being said, it really is a superior foundation. It gives me like a medium coverage. I expected it to be more matte than it actually is, considering the fact that it does call itself a matte foundation. To me, this is more natural. It's certainly not dewy, but it's also certainly not matte. This is the foundation where, say if I've got a really busy day at work, I've got a lot of meetings, and I really need my foundation just to hold up, stay in place, not start breaking down, embarrassing me, making a whole laughing stock of me. This is the one that I will go for. Actually, it's not the one. Like, I'll go for this one. I will go for even my BB cream, although it doesn't give me much coverage. No7 Beautifully Matte. So actually, do you know what? I could go with almost every single one of these, apart from the Super Stay, because I don't trust that one over hours of wear. But yeah, I love the Peach Perfect. It is more expensive than the others. Do I think it is better than the others? No, not at all. And actually, it has a really, like, what I think is an unpleasant peachy scent that you would think it would like go away after you've applied the foundation, but no, she sticks around. I still love it, and I think I'm going to repurchase it at some point, but definitely in a lighter shade. Oh, I don't know if I would actually. Would I repurchase it? I don't know. Like, I'm loving it. I really enjoy it. It makes me really happy. But actually, would I repurchase it? I don't know. Okay, so a couple of foundations that are on my list of foundations to try, and you tell me like what you think, like if I would like these or not. The Lancome, is it Le Teint Idol? That one, like I've heard good things. I want to try that one. I also want to try the YSL All Hours foundation because generally I've always been like super impressed by YSL. I used to love the Double Wear by Estee Lauder. It used to just be my holy grail, like the holiest of all the grails ever foundation. But I kind of moved on to other things and left it behind. But I really want to revisit that one again. I also want to try the Urban Decay All-Nighter, although I have heard that some people think it's a bit cakey. I still want to try it. I want to try the LA Girl Pro Matte as well. So many foundations, so little time. I mean, no, actually it should be so many foundations, so lack of money. I mean, really. But anyway, guys, I hope that you're having a fabulous day. If you could comment down below, let me know what your favourite foundations are. And also let me know what your skin type is as well. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope that you've enjoyed it. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.